motion out of the backfield.
Okay, you've been the offensive genius. You told us why Fouts is doing what he's doing. How can Denver stop it?
Blitz. Begin to blitz right now. They got to reestablish that they're a defensive football team that can stop them by the pass.
Fouts has all day to his tight end, Bob Klein. He overthrew everybody. In fact, Bill Thompson had a good crack at it. I don't think he was looking that way. He had his eyes on Klein, cutting over the middle. A flag is down. It's against San Diego, and I believe it is holding. That's the fastest way to slow down an offensive drive.
Other than blitzing, I believe you're right.
You're going to get your blitz in there one way or another.
Well, I do think, here's the call.
Red Cashin, the referee.
Number 70 on the offense, still first down.
That's twice Russ Washington has been caught holding. He did it to end the first half. So the line of scrimmage now becomes the San Diego 30-yard line in a scoreless ball game, and Fouts is confronted with 1st and 20.
The Broncos have to get a turnover. That's why they have to go to the blitz. Their defense makes their offense go with good field position. They got to get the ball. Here we go again.
And they have had only 3 interceptions this entire season. He dumps it off to Clarence Williams. 30, 35. Down he goes. Fumbles the ball. Denver's got it.
Thompson.
Bill Thompson runs into Fouts and out of bounds at the 10-yard line. The break that Denver has been looking for.
And Winslow is hurt, and that's what Denver feeds on.
Kellen Winslow is down at the 38-yard line of San Diego. The outstanding rookie from Missouri, but you're looking at the hero thus far.
There's Billy Thompson on the pickup, and for years the Denver defense has done this, and now you'll see an entirely different Denver Bronco offense. They'll be a lot more flashy. They'll do a lot more things, a lot less conservative.
You are very prophetic. You called for the turnover, Bobby, and you got it. We'll be right back. Back in Denver, Sam Nover, Bob Trumpy, and they are helping Kellen Winslow. Across the field, he was down during that entire timeout, and it's very difficult to tell what the injury might have been.
Well, with the way he has his hand supporting his shoulder, it does appear to be some sort of a shoulder injury, Sam. We'll find out if we are, in fact, doctors from up here. We'll hear from the bench.
Barney Shabas forced the fumble. Bill Thompson picked up the loose ball and raced 26 yards to the San Diego 11-yard line.
Now you may see anything. Rick Upchurch on a reverse. All kinds of things from the Denver offense.
We will still see Norris Reese at quarterback, however. Craig Morton threw before the 3rd quarter. He has still not played in the game. First down, Denver. Reese on a broken play to the 3-yard line. Fumbles the ball, and Denver got it back. Wow!
Just the way you draw it up, Sam. Absolutely the way you draw it up. He missed the handoff, I believe, to Jensen up through the middle. Watch this. Oh, the pulling guard, 62, hits him. Tom Glassick knocks it out of his hand. And he does a one-point landing on the point of his head. Denver ball.
Glenn Edwards forced the second loose ball, and somebody was there. I still haven't discovered who recovered it. There's the ball again going down. Whoever it was saved the day for Denver. Second down at the 3. Reese bootlegging the ball. Touchdown, Denver.
Here's the play again, and this is so characteristic of the Denver offense. They gain a total of 9 yards and come up with a touchdown. That's how Denver got to the Super Bowl. That's Super Bowl 12, with their defense constantly turning the ball over inside the opponent's 20-yard line.
Paul Howard, number 60, led the way for Reese. He escorted him into the end zone untouched. Jim Turner will try to make it 7-0 Denver. Perfect. So as Bob Trumpy has so aptly described, the defense sets the offense up for the touchdown, and they get it. 7-0 Denver. So it's 7-0 Denver here in the Mile High City. Here's another final. St. Louis has beaten Houston 24-17. Cardinals an upset. Artie Owens at the 10. 25, and down he goes as he reaches the 27, and a flag down at the 30-yard line of San Diego. Chargers trailing 7-0. The man who scored the touchdown, just an old bootleg, and he fooled our cameraman, at least one of them.
And that's the third touchdown run by Norris Weiss this season. On his hip, Paul Howard, his personal escort, and quite frankly, there's nobody but the tuba player and Mike Williams to stop him. Excuse me, that's Willie Buchanan to stop him. So it's not much of a run.
Penalty is against San Diego. Here's referee Red Cashin.
Holding by the receivers during the run back, number 45.
Holding.
It's first down.
Here's some other partials. Almost to the half. Pittsburgh 30, Cleveland 14. Baltimore leads the Jets 10-3 at the half. The Rams 28-7. Pat Hayden 2 touchdown passes. Wendell Tyler 2 runs. The Rams romping over New Orleans. Clarence Williams trying to get outside. He reaches the 20-yard line. One other partial. Dallas 23, Minnesota 10. A minute 50 to go, second quarter.
Okay, Sam, I've yet to win a football game as a head coach in professional football. I'll tell you what I think San Diego's got to do, and that is extreme patience. They cannot get excited simply because Denver has scored 7 points on them. They have a very good offensive football team. Stay with the things that work. Don't get fancy yet. There's still 10:24 left to go in the third quarter. Stay with your game plan.
That scoring drive of 9 yards. Weiss with a 3-yard run. Fouts with all day. Throws it down here, and it's caught by his tight end, Bob Klein. The 11-year veteran out of Southern Cal, but the important thing there is that Fouts had all day to throw the football.
And one of the valuable things about an experienced tight end like Bob Klein is that he knows that if he's the third or fourth receiver, he's still got a chance to catch the football. Coverage by Swenson. He goes down, keeps his eye on Dan Fouts, moving around, making sure that he's open, and he's there when Fouts needs him. Nice catch for a first down. I'm telling you, those people who wear 84 can catch the football. They really can.
Who wore number 84 that you know?
Well, I know one guy that wore it for Cincinnati. Never got it dirty in 10 years.
Trumpy. Your Bengals lost today. You know that, don't you?
My Bengals.
Boats throws it over here, and it's caught again by Klein at the 30-yard line. Very, very short yardage gain on first down. Stopped by Bill Thompson. Yes, your Cincinnati Bengals. You haven't divorced yourself yet, have you?
No, they've divorced me, though. Anyway, same formation, using the same motion out of the backfield. And Denver is yet to really adjust to this entire offensive set by the San Diego Chargers. And they have to do something. Chargers are staying with their offensive game plan. You can't panic yet. No word yet on Kellen Winslow and his shoulder injury either.
Well, this team has played very, very well under Don Coryell. They won 8 and lost 4 to finish off the 1978 season, including 7 of their last 8, and they're 4-1 this year. Over the middle, he's got Jefferson, a brilliant catch in front of Louis Wright. What an outstanding catch by John Jefferson right on the 50-yard line. And that is another San Diego first down, and Fouts has him moving again.
From in tight, he's got Louis Wright single coverage, and most teams avoid Louis Wright like the plague. San Diego's not afraid of it. Fine catch, good concentration on the football, and Dan Fouts threw that right on the money. That is not an easy throw to get in there.
56 catches for John Jefferson in his rookie year. He's out now, and Greg McCrary, a tight end, number 88, is in there on first down and 10, right on the 50. 2 tight ends, play action for Fouts. All day again. Look at the protection he's got. Williams spins to the 43-yard line, knocked down by Tommy Jackson, but not before he got 7 yards. And the interesting thing is that Fouts is throwing in run situations and running in throwing situations.
They're using the same offensive lineup that Oakland used last week to beat the Denver Broncos. That 2 tight end offense. They think they're just as versatile out of that 2 tight end offense with McCrary and Bob Klein and 1 receiver, that receiver being Charlie Joyner. And it might do something psychologically to the Denver defense, and I'm surprised Denver hasn't gone to the 4-man defensive line against it.
Well, they stay in the 3-4 on second down and 3. And Joyner comes wide right. McCrary is split out wide to the left. Throw it again. Throws the home run ball, and nobody was there. Now, there's got to be something wrong there when he overthrows his receiver by 15 yards, and that is twice that Fouts has had nobody in the area that he threw the football.
I'll tell you what, Sam, I think he misread his key. That was the total zone coverage, and I do think he was just overthrowing it to make sure nobody else got it. Kellen Winslow is back. Watch, see him look around. I think he knows he's got nobody open. He knows how to read defenses, but I think he missed his key, and Charlie Joyner was the second or third receiver, so he just threw it over everybody's head.
Well, while we're guessing, I'll disagree. I choose to believe on both occasions his receivers did not run the patterns he expected. Not bad stats, but he hasn't got a point to show for it. 7-0 Denver. 7 minutes to go, third quarter. Fumble! And I think San Diego got it back again. But it's fourth down. That's almost as important as a Denver recovery.
That's 3 drives stopped without a point. Randy Gradishar once again in the middle. Here he is. You see the cast on his left hand, reading the quarterback on a blitz. Kind of disrupted things in there. Got to Clarence Williams the same time the ball did. And Fouts made a very important fumble recovery here. Now it's up to West to get it inside the 5.
And he's kicking to Rick Upchurch, who has not busted one yet today. But you never know what's going to come from him. He is such a brilliant return specialist.
And he's going to return this one.
From his 7. Down he goes at the 17-yard line. So even when he's hemmed in, he gets 10 yards on the return. Denver starts deep in its own territory. 42 yards on the punt, 11 on the return. Not only protecting a 7-0 lead, which is silly to try to protect at this stage of the game, but deep in its own territory, not wanting to give it up.
Sam, there's nothing wrong with being conservative on offense, but it is too obvious to the other teams that they play that they're not going to do anything very fancy. All San Diego has to do is stay in their pass rush lanes, and they're not going to allow Denver a lot of yards. 3rd and 7.
Right on the 20-yard line for Norris Reese. Quick pitch to Larry Canada. Gets outside, and he's out of bounds. He got to the 25-yard line when Fuller gave him a good bump. I thought he had the first down easily. Now I don't believe he got it. The spot.
They got it. Nope. He got it.
Okay, they say that he did indeed. He seemed to be flying by the marker when Fuller approached him and bumped him out of bounds, but they gave him enough yardage downfield, and so Denver on a big 3rd down conversion there.
And Canada out. John Keyworth in with the play from Red Miller.
Keyworth has a good buddy sitting on the other side of the field. Played in the same backfield with San Diego's Bo Matthews right here at the University of Colorado. First down for Denver, leading 7-0 on a moving clock. Keyworth loses a yard. Freddie Dean, 71, was there. So was Gary Big Hands Johnson. Minnesota coming back slowly but surely against Dallas. Rick Danmeyer has kicked field goals at 28 and 34 yards. It's the Cowboys 23 and the Vikes 13.
Guess what Gary Big Hands Johnson's wife's name?
Little Hands.
How about his baby?
Tiny Hands.
Well, I can't tell you a thing.
Hate a show off, don't you?
Especially one your size.
Let me have my day in the sun.
Timeout.
Now why? Reese didn't like what he saw?
Well, if you're confused, go to the sideline, because that's the man that's got it in control, Red Miller.
Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy were back in Denver, where it's 2nd down and 10 now. Weiss has had a conference with his head coach, Red Miller. And let's see what came out of that. What would you do, Bob, at the 26 on 2nd and 10? You'd like to fool him a little bit, I know.
Yeah, armchair quarterback. I'd look for a screen to Rick Upchurch. It's a play they've used and used effectively throughout the season. I'll try to get it out to Upchurch and let him run down the sideline with it. You're on the record.
Play action for Weiss. Looking for Haven Moses. Oh, my goodness, he's got the screen. To the 30-yard line, and that's it. Jim Jensen, you had the right play, the wrong man, and I dare say if it had been Upchurch and not Jensen, he might have been able to get some yardage over there.
I'll settle for that. I'll settle for that. I think that's a good conservative play. Very little chance that San Diego is going to come up and make a big play on it. I didn't really care for the rollout, though. When you throw the ball east and west across the football field, somebody from the other team can go north and south with it.
The only problem is they only gained 3 yards. It was not an effective play, despite all the guessing.
I'll be very honest with you. I come back with the same play.
3rd down and a long 6 for Denver. Possession play. They lead it 7-0. 3:45 to go, 3rd quarter. Pressure on Weiss. Down he goes. He was in the grasp of number 71, Freddie Dean. That's his 3rd sack of the day. And of course, the new rule this year, when the quarterback is in the grasp of the defensive player, the whistle blows. And so he didn't have to go down.
And you know what, Sam? San Diego has not had a lot of sacks. They've had timely sacks. Here's Rick Upchurch. I try to get the ball to him all I could, and he does appear to be open. Norris Weiss is a little jumpy back there in the quarterback spots. You got to hang on to a little longer and look at your receivers instead of the guys rushing at you.
Here's Prestridge, who's averaged 55 a pop today. That's his worst punt. Good bounce, however. Inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line, and Denver will let it roll dead. So there's no return on the punt by Luke Prestridge, a punt of 42 yards. Don't forget, the next Sunday, another outstanding lineup of exciting NFL action on NBC. It all begins with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle, NFL 79, 12:30 Eastern. A look at Canadian-style football in Calgary. And then most of the country will see the big interconference matchup between the Patriots and the Bears of Walter Payton, who beat Buffalo today 7-0. Also, we'll cover the Buffalo-Miami game, the Seahawks and the Chargers, Denver and the Chiefs, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. That's where Bob Trumpy and I will be. Bouts on first down. Sideliner to Joyner, out of bounds, but he got the first down. Well, they say he didn't get out of bounds. The clock continues to run. Joyner covered there by Louis Wright, but it's a San Diego first down.
Good percentage pass by San Diego. Time pattern. Fouts was reading the strong safeties rotation, went away from the rotation, knowing that Foley would be playing deep. Easy reception for Charlie Joyner.
I got a big question for you coming out of this play, Trumpy. Get yourself ready.
Well, I'll try, Coach.
Jefferson goes wide left on first down. Joyner to the right. Fumble! Pile up right on the 45, and I think San Diego got it back again. Fouts has done that twice now in the last couple of series. 3 fumbles on the day for the Chargers. 2/3 of them they have recovered. Here's the question. Denver has played outstanding football. They have kept their offense in this ball game. In fact, they're directly accountable for the 7-0 lead. Do they miss Lyle Alzado playing this well?
Yes, I do believe they do. They have not really gotten to the quarterback yet today. And as I said, Denver's defense is a turnover type of defense. The entire football team relies on the defense to get the football back for them, the defense to get the football back for them, so that the offense has only 20 yards to go. That's the way they've made their living.
They have a 4-man punt here on 2nd down and 10. Chavis, Carter, Grant, and Lafleur. Fouts over the middle, intercepted. Thompson has it. Laterals. Bernard Jackson into San Diego territory and out of bounds.
Forced this football in. Winslow on the pattern. Obviously his shoulder's not hurt. He is covered by Swenson and covered well. Fouts tried to get it in there. Thompson on a good interception. And then the rest is, I suppose, football instinct. Running it back. Lateral to Bernard Jackson. And once again, the big turnover for Denver's offense. Now they'll be very versatile in what they're trying to do.
Moses in motion. There's the wide receiver screen to Haven Moses. And he gets about 3 yards. Defense perfectly by San Diego. Wilbur Young had the pressure on. Ray Preston made the tackle. Here's the remainder of the interception and the lateral. Thompson, with great presence of mind, gives it to Bernard Jackson for an extra 15 yards. And do you know, Bob, that was only the 4th interception this year by that great Denver secondary that led the AFC with 31 last year.
And I'll tell you another thing. Bernard Jackson was a running back in college at Washington State. And I do believe Bernard Jackson is the all-time leading rusher at Washington State.
First interception for Thompson, needless to say. The team's only got 4. Vince Kinney in at one of the wide receiving spots now for Denver. Rob Lytle on the pitch to the 45-yard line. Gary Big Hands Johnson is a man who ran him down, along with Woody Lowe, the linebacker.
Good pursuit.
Oh, excellent. San Diego's defense now really getting into the football game. Not that they weren't earlier, mind you. but the offense was on the field so much that the defense really didn't have a chance to assert itself.
Well, they have to, but Sam, that interception does one thing. It takes the field position advantage away from the San Diego Chargers. Even if Denver does not get a first down here or a score, San Diego is going to be backed up starting the fourth quarter.
Jerome Dove in for Willie Buchanan on this important third down play. We'll return. We've ended 3 quarters. We'll be back in a moment. First play of the fourth quarter from Mile High Stadium in Denver. It's a 7-0 Bronco lead. 75,000 people. The 68th consecutive sellout here in Denver. Third down, 5. Weiss has a very big play. No flag.
Yes,
there is a late flag, and the pass is incomplete. A very late flag on the far side of the field. Norris Weiss very slow in getting up. Freddie Dean had the pressure on him. He's lived in the backfield of Denver today. Let us pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KOA TV for Denver.
Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy back in Denver. Craig Morton moving around the sidelines, maybe ready to come into the football game. Weiss is being helped off the field, and Morton's on.
The only relief quarterback I've ever heard of in professional football, Craig Morton.
He's doing a real hurry-up job in the bullpen. I can tell you, he threw about 2 pitches, and he's ready to come on.
Well, they got to be that way if we're going to pay him a lot of money to be a reliever.
And again, if you're looking at the black armband on his left sleeve, it's in memory of the very popular public relations director of the Denver Broncos, Bob Peck, who passed away on Tuesday. Just an outstanding man, loved here in Denver, obviously. In fact, loved all around the National Football League. And it's an inspired Denver team playing this game for Peck, obviously.
Sam, I can't tell you what's wrong with Norris Weiss, but I do know that Gary Big Hands Johnson hit him right on the knee. Now, that could be a bruise. It could be a hyperextension. I'm not really sure. But here we go with Craig Morton.
So the offsides call against San Diego gives Denver a third down in less than 1 now after they missed converting on the pass. Into the pile. He may have gotten the first down.
Canada.
Larry Canada, number 35, the ball carrier. And Denver, with Craig Morton at the helm, gets the very important first down here early in the fourth quarter. Now Jensen comes into the lineup. They are alternating on almost every play. Ironically, Morton put it up 30 times last week in Oakland, was not sacked, he of no mobility, and Weiss threw it up 11 times and was sacked 5. And he's supposed to be the evasive one. Play action for Morton from behind. Oh, look at the hit on Rick Upchurch by Glenn Edwards. And Upchurch is down. Morton was hit by Freddie Dean from behind as he released the football, and Upchurch was buried by Pine Edwards.
And Sam, this is what we call in the business a snot bubbler. From the backside, Glenn Edwards nails him right on the chin. That's a right cross. That hurts, my friend. I mean to tell you, you are looking for error, and there is none.
He's playing the kind of football now in San Diego that he did in the glory years in Pittsburgh, 74 and 75 particularly. He was MVP on the Steelers' Super Bowl IX team and was a tremendously popular football player in Pittsburgh. Upchurch is up, and that is outstanding news. Look at him trot off.
That guy is amazing. With all the punt returns and all the pass receptions he gets, he's going to get hit a lot. He is 5'10" and 170, and he's got to be one of the toughest kids you'll ever run across.
And let me tell you something about San Diego. Bob Trumpy talked about the altitude, how tired it makes players on occasion, or perhaps the fallacy therein. San Diego has gone with the same defense all day in this 85-degree weather. Let's see what happens. 2nd and 10 for Morton. Keyworth close to a first down. Got by Ray Preston, but Keyworth out of the backfield for about 8 yards.
And Morton's amazing. Absolutely amazing. They don't like Weiss. They don't like Craig Morton. They don't like any quarterbacks they got here in Denver. And yet Craig Morton comes in there and does a job like that. There's Norris Weiss.
Who are they?
Those people out there in the orange shirts. They don't want him, Morton, the quarterback. They don't want Weiss, the quarterback. How like to see one of them get out there and throw.
Third down and a long yard. Double tight end. Ron Egloff joins Riley Odom. 13.5 minutes to play regulation time.
Mistake.
Great defensive play.
Mistake.
By number 29, Mike Williams. As Canada tried to go outside for the first down, and Williams was not fooled, was not blocked.
And a guy who is his size and about 6'2", 225, who goes outside is a big mistake. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line if my geometry teacher was correct. And he should not go outside, and it does appear they're going to go for it on fourth down. Williams to the sideline. I think he got kicked in the eye.
He did indeed.
By Larry Canada.
So on fourth down now and 4, and obviously, I say obviously, apparently out of Jim Turner's field goal range, which would be 50 yards.
No, I do think what Craig Morton here is going to do here is hold him at the line and try to draw him off. Try to draw him off. Doesn't have time. Delay of game. Blew the whole thing.
Yes, they did indeed. 30-second clock ran down, and so now they're going to have to punt it away. And obviously, Morton's intent was exactly what you were talking about, Bob. He never got a chance to really do it as they ran the 30-second clock all the way down. And here's the call from referee Red Cashin.
Delay by the offense.
Well, San Diego has dodged a bullet here. A good drive by Denver.
Luke Prestridge is punting for, I believe, the 6th time in the game. He is averaging 52.5 yards a pop, and he has the wind at his back, although it is not distance he wants here, Bob. He'd like to put it out inside the 10. You know he could kick it through the end zone without it blinking an eyelash. He's aiming for the corner. Line drive punt.
What an offensive threat.
A great afternoon for Prestridge, 36 yards out at the 1. They had to do it again, and this time it was returned to about the 15-yard line. So Prestridge's outstanding punt that went out at the 1 was nullified by the penalty. This time he punts at 36 yards, and Fuller returns at 9. So San Diego with obviously better field position, and there is a timeout on the field as you look at Luke Prestridge, the great rookie out of Baylor.
Well, that first kick he had, Sam, was absolutely phenomenal. That's exactly what your punter to do. What you want your punter to do.
Coming up Saturday, October 20th on NBC Sports World, and don't forget Sports World is on Saturdays. It's the WBA World Heavyweight Championship fight. John Tate, Jerry Coetzee from Pretoria, South Africa. It will be live on NBC. From the 16-yard line, Fouts down here to Jefferson. He overthrew him. Oh, and 2 Denver Broncos collided. Steve Foley and I think Bernard Jackson. Jefferson just got out of the way in the nick of time.
And that was just simply overthrown by Dan Fouts. I would imagine he wishes he had that one back. But the linebackers at Denver are the guys who are causing Fouts the most trouble. They're very active. They get deep in pass coverage, and he's got to throw it over the linebackers and underneath the defensive backs. And, I mean, gravity prohibits you from doing that.
You know, before we get too far away from Prestridge, who's had a great day, that rookie beat out the veteran Bucky Diltz, sent him packing out of Denver, and then Diltz found a home in Baltimore and could play very well. Second down, quick pitch. Thomas, nothing, lost a yard. Tommy Jackson, 57, who probably is every bit as quick as Mike Thomas, if not quicker.
Well, as I told you, the Denver defense is the part of the Denver football team that makes everything go. Here you see Russ Washington trying to get Barney Chavis on the ground. Chavis, Jackson, Louis Wright, all of them out there, nowhere to go. Now they have not come back to that motion formation out of the backfield and throwing underneath it. San Diego has not.
Jackson very critical of himself and his teammates after the shellacking in Oakland last Sunday. He said, "We are overconfident, but it will not happen this Sunday." And thus far, the Broncos have shut the Chargers out. Home run to Joyner. Great catch. Single coverage by Steve Foley. Joyner came back for it like a good receiver has to be able to do.
Sam, it's taken me this long to realize it, but Denver is going with Foley on Charlie Joyner all day long and Louis Wright on JJ. And this is just a great catch by a veteran receiver who comes back for the football. Foley never saw the football, trying to keep up with Charlie Joyner, and my goodness gracious, what a play. That really got San Diego out of a hole.
And what you didn't see was the blitz by Tom Jackson, who belted Danny Fouts to the ground, and Fouts kind of hobbled his way downfield. He is still limping as he approaches the line of scrimmage. First down, San Diego trailing 7-0 at the 47 of Denver. Thomas.
Whoa.
40, 35, and down he goes. Tripped up by Bernard Jackson, but the Chargers are in business. They have gone from their own 16 to the Denver 33.
In 2 plays. And I'm telling you, this guy makes moves, Mike Thomas, that no coach can take credit for. Rookie of the year in the 1975. Washington's second leading rusher behind Larry Brown while he was there. And how they got him, San Diego, for a 5th-round draft choice is beyond me.
First down, they spot the ball right on the 33 of Denver. Artie Owens now in the backfield, number 24, along with Clarence Williams. Play action for Fouts. Throws it out here. He's got Artie Owens wide open. 20, 16-yard line. First down, San Diego, and Fouts has really opened it up. Randy Gradishar made the stop. Minnesota has scored. Tommy Kramer to Sammy White. The Vikings now back within 3 of Dallas. It's 23-20. The Rams are blowing out New Orleans 28-10. That's late in the 3rd quarter. Pittsburgh 37-21 over Cleveland. Ryan Sipe has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Likewise, Terry Bradshaw. And Seattle leads San Fran 21-7. Baltimore 10-6 over the Jets. Baltimore looking for its first victory. The screen to Jefferson. Down he goes. Not a bad play by Louis Wright.
Also, Tom Jackson wasn't fooled a bit, saw the offensive lineman pulling out in front of him, and we got a flag, and I think it's a clip on somebody out there. Jefferson faking downfield. Watch Jackson come into the picture, number 57 on your left-hand side. That's Russ Washington, and I think they're going to call him for a clip. Great play by Tom Jackson.
It was more Jackson than Louis Wright, and I gave Louis all the credit.
A clip. I think it's against Russ Washington. Dan Fouts is 21 for 32 and 244 yards, and I can't understand why they're going to the fancy stuff down here. Here's the call.
Flipping by number 70 on the offense.
It
Still
has
first
not
down.
been a good day for Russ Washington. 2 holding penalties, 1 clip. He has accounted for 35 yards in penalties himself. 12-year veteran out of Missouri. Denver now back at the, San Diego back at the Denver 32-yard line. Look at the stats on Fouts. You'd think he'd have 4 touchdowns on the board, but he has no points. All day throws it in there, and it's complete at the 25-yard line. Bob Swenson making the stop on John Jefferson, and he got back some of the yardage, but certainly not enough on a 2nd down play.
And I'm not sure how he got that in there. John Jefferson was in amongst 5 or 6 Denver Broncos. Randy Gradishar was right behind him, and because of that cast on his hand, he couldn't stick his hand up to try to catch it. Watch this. Jefferson coming from the right. They're all over him. Great catch, great concentration on the football. That was Rizzo that couldn't get his hand on the football. Well, they got back half of it. That's what they wanted to do.
Norris Weiss with a knee injury will return only to hold for placements. Morton is on for the duration at quarterback. Unless, of course, he should go down. Good pass, Kellen Winslow. And hanging on is Steve Foley at about the 16-yard line. But that outstanding rookie out of Missouri gets back some of that lost yardage again. And now San Diego is down deep with a 3rd down and about 8 yards to go. Kellen Winslow, who went off earlier in the 3rd quarter but has come back and shows no effects of the injury.
Considered by many in the college draft last year as the best tight end there was. He's got, coming into this game, he had 17 catches, 2 touchdowns.
Biggest play of the game for San Diego. And if you're looking for a big play guy on the other line, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, watch number 57, Tom Jackson. He'll make it time and again. Oh, just out of the reach of John Jefferson. And again, That's about 6 inches too tall from Danny Fouts.
That's the point, Sam. Coverage by Louis Wright on John Jefferson. And every time Denver's been in a crucial situation, they have put Louis Wright on John Jefferson to try to neutralize him. And Louis Wright has done an excellent job. And I do think if Dan Fouts had thrown a tight spiral on that, J.J. might have caught it.
Girella will attempt his 4th field goal of the day. The hold by Fuller at the 24. It'll be an attempt at 34 yards. Girella has had 1 block, 1 hit the upright, and 1 go wide to the right. He is 0 for 3. Sends this one out to the right, hit the upright, and missed that one. I do not believe it. Roy Girella has hit 2 uprights in this football game. It's Denver 7, San Diego nothing. We'll be right back. 7:08 to go in regulation time from Denver. Girella 0 for 3, the count. 0 for 1 that did not count because of a penalty.
And he's hit the bar twice. Place kickers may apply. San Diego Stadium, San Diego, California.
He's a nice man, too. Had some great years in Pittsburgh. Here's Craig Morton. This is a big week for him. Hand off to Otis Armstrong. Stringing it out. San Diego. Armstrong breaks a tackle to the 29-yard line. The reason, Bob, it's a very big week for Craig Morton, his lovely wife, Susie, gave birth to a baby girl, Craig's first child. So I'm sure it's a very, very thrilling week for him. And now relieving Norris Weiss, he'd like to get a drive going.
Now, Sam, I do not understand this. After Otis Armstrong runs the ball like that, Red Miller sends in a reserve tight end, Rob Lytle, John Keyworth, and Otis Armstrong comes out. Wait a minute. What are we doing here?
I could not agree with you more, sir.
Is that team that specialized?
Mr. Miller will have to answer that. Gain of 8, second down at 2. Straight ahead, Keyworth puts his head into the 30-yard line. I don't believe he reached it. Big number 99, Wilbur Young, met him head on and stacked up the play, and I think they'll spot this ball a little shy. Well, there's Miller. Why don't you ask him now?
Well, he's got more important things on his mind, but that was a short yardage situation. But for the life of me, I do not understand why. There goes Otis Armstrong back in the ball game. If you've got a guy who can gain the kind of yardage that Otis Armstrong can make the corner, and you got running backs in Jensen, Keyworth, people in Canada that weigh 230 pounds, you need an Otis Armstrong in the backfield to get you outside yardage.
Well, they got the first down. Keyworth got his head into 30 just enough. Moses and Upchurch are split left. The clock, a very important factor with 6:17 to play. Armstrong, look at this. 40, 45, midfield, and down he goes. And if he keeps doing that, the critics here in Denver, and there are many who question why Otis doesn't play more, will be all over Red Miller.
Well, I do think he's stating his case, and as I just said, when you've got big running backs who can get it for you up the middle, why not give the ball to Otis Armstrong? Went to Purdue, gained 1,400 yards in 1974. He's had hamstring injuries and nagging injuries, but he still appears to be able to run the ball with a great deal of verve.
Second all-time leading rusher for the Denver Broncos is Otis Armstrong behind Floyd Little. 6 carries, 53 yards. He's had himself a day. Armstrong through the middle to the 49-yard line. A flag is down. The reason that ball was spotted back in Denver territory, while he reached the San Diego 43, they ruled that he stepped out of bounds, and so he lost a considerable yardage, but it was still an excellent carry.
Holding on Denver coming up here.
Oh, my.
And Denver can ill afford that. Now, you see what it does now. Otis Armstrong is coming off on the sideline. Because he plays so little the first 5 games, he's already out of breath. I'd put that guy in my backfield, except for short yardage situations, I suppose, and I'd give it to him 25 or 30 yards 30 times a ball game and take my chances with him. But then nobody's called me from Denver for the head coaching job.
Or anywhere around the league.
Number 60 on the offense, still first down.
Well, my number is unlisted, Sam.
Well, you know the reason. People are so impressed with the job you do as a broadcaster, they don't want you to leave the business.
Well, nobody in their right mind wants to grow up and be a head football coach. I know that for sure.
From the 31. So as San Diego did earlier, a holding penalty really stops the momentum of the Denver Broncos here. Lord knows the Chargers have had a ton of those. Morton, play action. Throws it down here for Riley Odoms, and it just off his fingertips. Craig threw it a little high. At about the 35-yard line, a flag is down again, and that's in the backfield of Denver. We could have back-to-back holding calls, and the Broncos are going to be in real trouble here if that's the case. With Bob Trumpy, Sam Nover of Denver, Colorado. You see referee Red Cashin walking off 10 yards. The second straight holding call against Denver. They lead at 7-0. 5:58 to go, regulation time. It has been a titanic defensive struggle, to say the least. The Broncos' only touchdown coming following a fumble recovery by Bill Thompson. Norris Reese bootlegged it in from 3 yards out. He has since been injured, and Craig Morton is on. First down and 30, and Rob Lytle has the football. Very little yardage at all. We welcome those of you who are watching the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game. It is a 7-0 Denver lead at this point, but the Broncos have run into back-to-back holding calls.
Sam, you said it was a defensive struggle, but wait a minute. San Diego has missed 4 scoring opportunities, 3 missed field goals by Roy Girella, numerous holding calls on San Diego, 5 penalties for San Diego, 6 now for Denver. There's number 9, Mr. Roy Girella. His first week at work in the 1979 season, maybe his last.
But before you castigate him, 2 of his 3 misses have hit the upright.
So what?
Unfortunately for him, they bounce the wrong way. Morton throws it out here to Riley Odoms. A great catch at the 48. And right over the linebacker, Raymond Preston.
Sam, going into this game, I thought he was the guy who was going to be the key for Denver. Riley Odoms, 6'4½", 235 pounds on 5'9", 170-pound Mike Fuller. Craig Morton almost stumbles, but this is a well-thrown football. A good arch on it, gets it over the linebacker's outstretched hands, and he catches the ball and stays in bounds.
5:11 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's 7-0 Denver. Now Morton's got to work on the clock, and as Bob pointed out to you, while the score does not indicate an offensive game at all, Danny Fouts has moved this team up and down the field. He's thrown for over 250 yards. They got him. Down he goes back at the 40. Charles DeJournay and 79, Big Hands Johnson. But it is not as if Morton did not have plenty of time. The San Diego secondary, excellent coverage.
Tell you what, Sam, that was an important play for Denver. They needed to keep that drive alive. And for you people who just joined us, San Diego has not won in Denver since 1968. They are trying to break a 10-year-old jinx.
You're looking at Mike Fuller, number 3 in the AFC in punt returns. Luke Prestridge, who has averaged over 50 yards a punt today, kicks it for the 7th time. Fuller. Down he goes at the 11. Glenn Hyde, the former University of Pittsburgh star, made the stop. And Danny Fouts is 89 yards away from a tying touchdown. 50 yards on the punt, 1 on the return. We'll be right back. Welcome back to a magnificent day in the mile-high city of Denver. 85 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. So far, a pretty good day for Denver. They lead San Diego 7-0. From their 11-yard line, Fouts. Down here to Artie Owens, and he dropped the ball at the 30-yard line. He had to come back for it, but it's still no excuse.
That is no excuse. That is dead in his hands. He should have caught that. Artie Owens is a good receiver. Once again, San Diego taking advantage of that single coverage when they run a back in motion. Look at that, 260 yards, no points.
And updating that Pittsburgh score, the Steelers leading the Browns 44-21. A great day for Bradshaw, 3 touchdown passes. Likewise, Brian Sipe. Franco Harris, 2 touchdown runs of 71 and 26 yards. Of course, all the details and the highlights with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle on the NFL report following this game. And this one is a long way from being over. 4.5 minutes left. Fouts intercepted and dropped by number 56.
Tom Jackson. Tom Jackson hit it up in the air, Sam.
And then Evans dropped it.
Evans almost had it, replacing Randy Gradishar, who was out with minor finger surgery, has played a lot of the football game, but Larry Evans played the entire preseason for Randy Gradishar, did an excellent job. Fouts had nobody open. And I do believe that the guy he throws it to is about his 4th receiver. Looking desperately for Clarence Williams over the middle. That almost cost him another turnover.
I think we gave too much credit to Jackson. I think Evans deserves all of it. He's the one who tipped it.
You may be right.
Here's a big play for Fouts. 3rd down and 10 at his 11-yard line.
Jefferson.
He's got him at the 30-yard line.
Oh, that kid's sensational.
An outstanding catch by Jefferson, but remember what we said about Danny Fouts. Quoting Bill Walsh, the head coach of the 49ers, Fouts is the best leader in the NFL. How's that from leadership from the 11-yard line?
And this guy is only in his 2nd year of professional football, Sam. He's a clutch receiver. Fouts is very comfortable going to him in a very tight situation, and he makes the catch 1st and 10 on Denver's 30.
Joyner wide left. Jefferson to the right. Under 4 minutes to play in a 7-0 Denver lead. Owens. Down he goes at the 37-yard line, but that was good for 6. Stopped there by Bill Thompson, the strong safety. So now Fouts has got a 2nd down and 4. Could probably do most anything. What are you uh-ohing about?
Here comes Larry Burton in. 87. You see him right on the right edge of your screen. An Olympic sprinter. Legitimate 9.2 speed. Put him on Steve Foley and send him the distance. We'll see what happens.
And then throw it to Joyner.
Put it full trajectory. No, I'd throw it to Burton. Full trajectory. We got Burton on free safety, Bernard Jackson on the bottom of the field.
Single coverage. The handoff to Artie Owens. That's for a defensive play. That is Randy Gradishar's replacement, Larry Evans, a 4th-year pro out of Mississippi College at 6'2", 214. And as Bob Trumpy pointed out throughout our entire telecast, they've got one linebacker who weighs more than 220, and that's Gradishar.
And the rest of them can run with any running back there is in professional football. And that's what Denver tries to do. They get their linebackers in the defensive coverage. Here comes Burton down on the bottom of the field again with Bernard Jackson.
I love it. 3rd down and 4. Fouts another must-convert situation. Sends Winslow in motion. The home run ball for Larry Burton. He's down there, and I don't know. It's wrestled down and incomplete. For what seemed an eternity, Burton hung up in the air with Bernard Jackson, and when they came down, the ball trickled to the ground.
You know what? I think Larry Burton had to slow up in the middle of that pattern so he would not outrun the football thrown by Dan Fouts. Watch this. All he's got, and Burton still has to come back for the football. Good coverage by Bernard Jackson. I thought they'd get it done, but obviously Dan Fouts just simply couldn't throw it far enough, and I do believe they'll go for it on 4th down and about 4.
2.5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter of a 7-0 Denver lead. And to say that the 75,101 are a little edgy at the moment is an understatement, and the Chargers want to talk it over. So Fouts heads for his head coach, Don Coryell, and I think there'll be a lot of contemplation before they decide to go on 4th down from their own 35. We'll be back in a moment. Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy, we're back in Denver. You see the importance of this football game. If Denver can hold the lead, a 3-way tie in the AFC West. Kansas City, Denver, and San Diego will all be 4-2.
Sam, would you believe that with 560 yards offense for the two teams, 7 points are on the scoreboard?
I am dumbfounded.
357 for San Diego, 203 for Denver. Denver leads 7-0, 2:27 to go in the game.
4th down and 4. The San Diego 36.
Joyner
over the middle, wide
open. Play.
45, 50, 45 of Denver and out of bounds. An outstanding call by Coryell, or maybe it was Fouts on his own.
Or Jim Hannafin, the offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. A great play. They send Jefferson in motion from left to right. Charlie Joyner just sneaks across behind the line of scrimmage, and he is standing there wide open. Watch this play. See if you can see Joyner sneaking down at the bottom. You can't really pick him up, but there's nobody covering him. 1st and 10, San Diego on the Denver 44.
And one of the great trades that owner Gene Klein has made for veterans over the year. That was the Coy Bacon deal to Cincinnati to get Joyner. They've also acquired Ed White from Minnesota for Ricky Young, picking up Willie Buchanan for a draft choice this year. Fouts wants it all. Intercepted. Joe Rizzo. Out of bounds at the 45 of San Diego. 2nd interception by Denver today, and what a big one that was.
That's what we were talking about earlier, the linebackers for the Denver defense are the most active in professional football, and we got a fight on the field and a flag, but who cares?
The guys who were fighting care.
Well, that's why I'm up here. Fouts, a poorly thrown pass. Rizzo is standing right there, intended for John Jefferson. And with 2:09 left, Sam, it's looking mighty slim for the Chargers, and it's going to go 11 years without a win in Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado.
They are still talking about this little fracas at the 45-yard line now of San Diego. Face mask against Denver. That was the first indication I saw from Cashin. Now, we may have a bit of confusion here because there perhaps was something that happened after the play. And as we've mentioned, the Broncos, Bob just said it, the Broncos haven't lost to San Diego since December 1st of '68 here at Mile High.
And the quarterback for the San Diego Chargers, 1968, John Hadel, threw 4 touchdown passes to Lance Allworth. The quarterback for the Denver Broncos, Steve Tinson. Here's the call.
It's a post-possession play, obviously. Denver keeps the ball.
Personal foul, face mask, number 36 of the receivers.
Got it wrong.
Happened after he was out of bounds. It's 1st and 25.
Oh, I see.
Bill Thompson, number 36, is the man. Now, he must have done something away from the football because Rizzo obviously carried the ball out of bounds safely. Nothing was done to him. Denver with the ball now at the 40. And 2:09 away from a great victory that'll put him into a first-place tie with Kansas City and San Diego.
Wait a minute, Sam. I want to tell you something. If it's face mask on Billy Thompson, that's a personal foul. That should be 15 yards.
Cashin wants the mic back again. Let's give it to him.
The distance is 1st and 10. 1st and 10.
Okay, it was 15 yards. I understand.
Well, if you do, explain it to me.
Well, it was a personal foul because he can't be a face mask because his team had the ball.
So from the 40-yard line, the bottom line is that Denver has the ball back again on the second interception of the day by the Broncos. And they give to Otis Armstrong. 45. Down he goes, about the 47-yard line. Stopped by strong safety Mike Fuller.
Shades of the Denver Broncos a few years ago with Floyd Little on this sweep.
This is a long way from being over. We have reached the 2-minute warning. 7-0 Denver. Stay with us. See the timeouts remaining. Could be a very important factor for both sides as we enter the last 2 minutes of regulation time and a 7-0 Denver lead. Morton's got a 2nd down and 3 now from his own 47-yard line. And Otis Armstrong, the leading ball carrier, 60 yards, 7 carries. And we still can't understand why Red Miller doesn't use him more often.
I don't want to put the kiss of death on Denver, but they've had 9 fumbles in 5 games. So this game is a long way from being over.
Long count by Morton. Gives it to Armstrong again. Cuts inside, a good block to the 45, 40. First down at the 41 of San Diego. He got a great block from Tom Glassick back at the 47-yard line. And they have run that sweep very well. Actually, it's not a wide sweep. He cuts it up.
It's a power sweep. He also got a great block from Keyworth and Riley Odoms at the point. Armstrong finally getting a chance to show why what he said in the paper that I should be playing more may have some truth to it.
And another big first down for Denver as they reach the San Diego 36-yard line, protecting a 7-0 lead. Otis has had himself a day. 2nd leading ground gainer in Denver history behind Floyd Little. A minute 53 to go. 4th quarter, I formation. And Jensen dives to about the 34-yard line. Gary Johnson and Bob Horn, the middle linebacker, combined to make the stop. We talked earlier about the altitude and the wear and tear it has on football players. And one observation was that San Diego had gone basically with the same defense all day. Very little substitution, with the exception of Willie Buchanan, who was injured. And maybe, Bob, and I say just maybe, it's starting to take its toll.
But, Sam, you can't really put the tag on the altitude for the San Diego Chargers having their problems today. They have missed 4, 5 opportunities to score, and when you do that against Denver, you're not going to win the football game. I don't care if you're playing at 35,000-foot elevation.
Don't forget, also next Sunday, another outstanding lineup of exciting NFL action here on NBC. Bryant Gumbel, Mike Adamle get us started 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL 79. Nice feature on Canadian-style football in Calgary. Then most of the country will see the big interconference matchup between the high-powered Patriots of New England and the Bears of Walter Payton. Of course, they beat Buffalo in what has to be termed an upset today in Buffalo, 7-0. Other key games, the Buffalo-Miami battle, Joe Ferguson against Bob Greasy, the Seahawks and the explosive Chargers, and Denver versus the surprising Chiefs. We ask you to check your local listings for the game and time in your area. We got a pretty good football game in Cincinnati, Bobby. You and me. The Steelers and the Bengals. 2nd down and 8 from the 34 of San Diego. Denver 7-0. Armstrong to about the 32, has the ball stolen, but I believe it came after the whistle. And the
no, they gave it to the Chargers.
No, I don't believe they have yet. I haven't seen an official signal from Red Cashin.
He's pointing his arm the other way,
He
Sam.
is now. He is now. He waited a very, very long time, but how's that for a turnover? 1:33 to go, and the Chargers are not dead.
Well, that's what we said. 9 fumbles so far in 1979. They've recovered 5 of them. He gets a good hit. Yes, sir, that's a legitimate fumble. Dejournay made the fumble.
Wilbur Young, all 300 pounds of him, and Armstrong lost the battle there. 34-yard line. Let's see if Fouts can march him down. He's got 2 timeouts and 1:33 on the clock. Loops went out here for Artie Owens, but he caught it out of bounds.
1 foot. Good call by the official.
He has had himself a day. Danny Fouts has thrown for over, I find it incredulous to even say it, over 300 yards. And when you look at the stats, if you didn't know the score, you'd think that San Diego had at least 4 touchdowns on the board. They have not a point.
Total, the 2 teams have over 600 yards now, Sam. 7 points. 126.
It's even more amazing that Fouts hasn't got a point on the board when he's got half the total yardage in the air. Throws this one down, intercepted by Thompson. Right into his hands. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. 1:15 to go. 3rd interception, 2nd by Bill Thompson. Well, this crowd tells you a lot. Tremendous reaction. Jefferson, the intended receiver.
I don't blame him for trying to get the ball to J.J., but Clarence Williams underneath J.J. was standing wide open, Sam. You saw the double coverage that J.J. got. Thompson just standing back there in center field. It was thrown right to him. He was wide open. That's his 3rd interception, as Sam said.
Danny Fouts had but 4 interceptions in 5 games, entering this one. 3 today. Rob Lytle hits the pack at the 30-yard line and is shoved back. And San Diego now will have to exercise a timeout with 1:06 to play in the 4th quarter, trailing Denver 7-0.
Sam, I said that you get normally 6 opportunities to score in a football game. Roy Girella missed 3 field goals, and Dan Fouts has thrown 3 interceptions, 2 to Billy Thompson. That's your 6 chances. No wonder they don't have any points, and I don't care if they got 1,000,000 yards on them.
However, I'd hardly say they had scoring chances when he was intercepted from his own 30 and 36.
Yes, but when you start an offensive drive, you figure you got 6 to score.
33 seconds. They did not stop the clock. Morton back at his 32-yard line, covered by Dejournay and Big Hands Johnson. And now they use what I believe is their last timeout. So it'll be 3rd down, Denver. San Diego has no timeouts left. They trail by 7. 3rd down, 11 for the Broncos. 32-yard line of San Diego. San Diego has used all of its timeouts. Morton falls on the ball at the 35. The clock will run out, and San Diego will have lost for the 11th straight year here at Mile High Stadium. Now, while you're watching this great celebration, Brian Sipe has thrown 2 more touchdown passes in Cleveland. The Browns trail Pittsburgh 44-35 with 9 minutes to play in that one. Some unbelievable football being played around the National Football League today. This one is over. 7-0 Denver, and they can thank their defense a whole lot, I would say, Bob.
Sam, when we started this football game, we told everyone about the dedication of the football team to Bob Peck with the black armbands on 3 of the players. Bob Peck, the publicity man for the Denver Broncos, died last Tuesday. He was loved by everybody on the football team. It may have been the difference.
Well, the statistics have yet to be compiled, but you can rest assured that San Diego outdistanced the Denver Broncos a great deal today in total yardage, but it counts on the scoreboard, and the Broncos had the big turnovers, the fumble recovery by Bill Thompson that he ran down to the 11. 2 plays later, Norris Weiss bootlegged the ball in the